Hey there, everybody. I hope everyone's staying safe and warm. I wanted to quickly talk about this week's episode. We recorded this episode about 3 weeks ago, and it seems a little bit outdated right now. It was only 3 or so weeks ago, but so much has changed in our world, and so I wanted to speak about that. I hope everybody's gotten a chance to listen to our last episode all about taking action against racism in our Montessori work. Such an important episode for Jamie and myself and for our Montessori community. We have a lot of work to do. We really do. But Jamie and we are continuing to listen, learn, read, have conversations with each other and others to really fight racism in our Montessori world and in our entire world, for that matter. We've made a donation to the Black Lives Matter DC. We made it in All Things Montessori's name. This is not the only donation we are going to be making, but we thought it important to research which thing we'd want to give to. And while we wanted to give to, so many, we thought this one was, the most pressing and relevant right now. And we're going to continue to think about where else our funds could go. But so this episode today, it's all about community. We talk all about games to play with children, community building, and the importance of having fun with the children in your class. So often we get hung up on the academics, and having fun is just as important in the elementary Montessori community. And since it's the end of the year, we thought it a perfect time to talk about it. So I really hope you enjoy this week's episode. As always, please reach out to us with any questions, comments, anything like that. We'd love hearing from you. There is nothing more fun to me than opening up our email and seeing that I have emails from you guys. I love it so much. Thank you so much for all of your support. We're now on Twitter, so go ahead and follow us if you want. We're at All Things Monty. It's the only thing I could think of that was sort of relevant with the short amount of, letters I had. So yeah, go ahead and give us a follow on there. And again, reach out to us if you need anything. We're here for you, and enjoy this episode.
Hey, Rachel.
Hi, Jamie. How's it going?
Doing well. Mm-hmm. How about you?
Oh, same old stuff, different day.
Yeah. Story of the last however many weeks. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking lately about how we tend to talk about all this, serious things we should be doing with children and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And realizing that I wanted to remind people to have fun.
Right.
That part of our work is to have fun with the children all the time.
It totally is. It's such a big part of the classroom. The Montessori classroom is a space of great learning and great thinking, but it's also really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be fun. And I think, normally I would really encourage a lot of fun at the end of the school year as things are wrapping up. We don't really have a normal end of year right now. But, the end of the year isn't the time to start some big new concept with children. It's to sort of tie up loose ends and connect and have fun together as much as possible. And it's something that we just have to remember all the time in all of our work. Sometimes we have to just end the work period and play a game together. That just is obviously what the group needs. We need to have fun.
It's so true. And I found that sometimes it's really easy to forget that. It's really easy to just get caught up in getting, everything, all the learning and the focus and the concentration and all of that. And while the children love all of that too, a lot of our classroom is designed to be super enjoyable styles of learning. And it's a lot of it is fun while they're doing that. It's important to just, like you're saying, just have fun, play a silly game, whether it's, I don't know. It can be a number of games and we'll get more into that, but it could be just going outside together. A lot of it could be, music based or just being silly, because children are really silly and goofy, They're so fun and funny. And what that's going to do for you, it's going to have the children see you as the guide in a different light. They still are going to respect you because you are the authority figure, but to see you have fun and let loose, that's important for them, because it's going to fuel your relationship with them. They're going to see you, of course I'm sure they adore you as their guide, but that's just going to make that even stronger.
Yeah,
I
was remembering a time when my first year of teaching, and I took my class camping, and we had gone and watched the sunset at the beach, and we were going to head back to the campground. And I said, okay, everybody line up behind me. And they lined up behind me, and I turned around and I said, hey, why aren't you guys behind me? Like I said, line up behind me. And they giggled and got behind me. And then I turned around and faced them and did it again. And I must have done it like 4 or 5 times. And of course, they knew I was being ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And they loved it. Like we just all were giggling and having a silly time together. I mean, it is important to have those moments when you're silly. And because it also helps the children to see like what is acceptable silly, and it helps them develop that, understanding of the limits and the boundaries to that,
Definitely. And that's super important, right? Because we're not saying, it's going to be a chaotic thing, because there's definitely a line, right? In the classroom, as there should be. And that's right. And letting them know, yes, this is a place that we have fun, but, this is how we do it. And, there is a limit. And they might push that sometimes, but, that happens.
Oh, of course they will. I mean, how will they ever learn? And some children have to push up against boundaries more often. And that's okay. Like
that's okay.
They need to get the feedback so that they learn. That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it is really a key, because when we do some activities that are focused pretty, exclusively on fun and community building, we allow the children, I mean, they do see us and our personalities more, and that should permeate everything we do. But I think it particularly comes through when we don't feel like we have to get this concept across, or, when there isn't something else, that's, dominating our minds. So yeah, having fun throughout the class day, having fun on your Zoom calls right now, all of those things are really important. I had a graduate wrote to me a few weeks ago, and she said she played one of the games I taught on the course on Zoom with the children, and it's a game called Sausages. And when you play it in person, you have a child sitting in the middle of a circle, and everybody in this circle gets to ask that child any question they want, and the person in the middle has to respond only with the word sausages, and they can't laugh about it.
It's so fun.
It's so silly. And of course, silly. I'm always, I'll let the children ask questions, but then I'll finally ask one that I'm determined can get the child to laugh,
Of course.
What's your underwear made out of, or something. And, anyway, she played that on Zoom, and she said it was like the best game ever to play on Zoom. They were having the best time. So those kinds of, we played Sausages a lot. We played in my classroom, we played Silent Ball whenever we could get a chance. Any of, especially at the beginning of the year and the end of the year, I think these community building activities are super important, and they should be sprinkled through the whole year, of course. But
oh my gosh, of course. And I think it's good to introduce new games, but also the children are going to have their favorite games, right? And and they're going to want to play those, and it's so fun. Sausages was also one of the most popular games in my classroom as well, because it is just so ridiculous. And, the children, some of them are like pretty good at it, and then some of them are just terrible.
Right.
so
They
good.
laugh immediately.
Right.
I had one guy who we could not break. Like I was like racking my brains to get him out, so I mean, and these, this is fun because then it also becomes part of the lore of your classroom, right? Oh, remember the time that so-and-so couldn't,
yeah.
I mean, those kinds of things. So it's fun. It's just fun to sit and just have fun with the children. Of course, our lessons are
lovely.
fun. Of course, the other stuff. But sometimes we just need to all relax.
Yeah, I mean, I made up this. I don't know. I can't take credit for it because I'm sure other people do this. But we would all sit in a classroom and we would have different kinds of accents in a bowl or something. And then we'd all have to talk in that kind of accent. And, children, there's, I mean, and I just have memories of them crying, laughing. They're laughing so hard. And like, what a memory those children will have. I mean, I have memories of elementary school, and most of them are the games I played with either my teacher or my friends outside, or they're the cool experiences I had in elementary school. And that's going to fuel your community again. Like that's the point, it's to have fun with each other. Elementary students, of course, they're going to form cliques. They're very social beings, so that's natural. But playing a group game is going to maybe get them out of that, that comfort level, that their little clique is going to just, they're going to be spread throughout the group, and it can help other children that maybe are new in the class. They can feel more welcome, or, anything like that. I found that games have gotten some of my more quieter children like completely out of their shell, in an unexpected way, which is just super, super fun. So fun.
Yep. And I think especially at the beginning of a school year to build your community, I did, group games for most of recesses at the beginning of the year just to build those relationships. And I think as I think about like children at home, since most summer camps are closed and other things this summer, games are a really important activity for families also.
They are.
The games you can play, board games and things, but get outside and play, croquet or badminton or catch or any of those things that it's important. Like all games help children build their critical thinking skills. All games help children start to, think through strategy. And it's time for connection and relationship building. And all of that is important.
Yeah. And, those outdoor games, I mean, that's going to lead into sportsmanship and all those sorts of aspects that are really important with any kind of group work, like how to be a good team player, all of those things.
Yeah.
And children struggle with that. I mean, losing never is fun for anybody. But that's a really big lesson, I think, for children to learn, how to, be a good team player, but also, shake somebody's hand if they win a game, anything like that.
I have to admit that I have not been a very good loser at Yahtzee in my house lately.
Oh, no.
But thank you for that reminder, Rachel. So I will work.
You're welcome.
That's
okay. I cannot play Scrabble with my husband without us having a fight. So I get it.
The other great thing about doing those outdoor games is that it's going to help the children build a lot of their gross motor skills that that they need. And so I've had children come into the elementary and not ever have played catch, so they didn't know how to throw and catch a ball. And so, and not out of, it just wasn't something the family did. So they just didn't even think about it. But those, even just throwing and catching a ball, or, you don't even have to play badminton. We were talking last night about how we would go out with the racket and the birdie and just see how long we could keep it in the air. Like how many times could you hit it, and not let it touch the ground. All these kinds of, silly kinds of games, but that takes a lot of concentration. It takes a lot of coordination. It gets some energy out. All of those things are are fun. And you could do that. I mean, you don't have to do it with a racket and a birdie. You can do it with a ball. You can do it with a balloon. You can, any number of things.
Anything. I mean, those reflexes and that hand-eye coordination. Wow, that's something that's, really important. And that builds confidence, and that's just going to continue to serve them. And also, like, it's good for like safety reasons to know how to catch something and have those reflexes and be aware of those sorts of things. It's really important all around. Oh yeah. Gosh, it's so much fun. So, any kind of outdoor game for the summer, yeah, absolutely. But you can definitely play games on Zoom. There are so many fun ways to connect your community. Albeit where it's online right now, it's not ideal, but you can still make those memories.
Yeah.
Even though it looks a little differently right now.
My older daughter is playing with a bunch of her friends some online Pictionary game together, so they can all be in their separate houses and play, and be able to draw and share those and guess and the whole game. I think there's tremendous potential for some of those kinds of things too in these times when we can't be together in person. But I think, or what I'm hoping as teachers are wrapping up the year, especially with their distance learning activities with children, is that you're remembering to try to bring in some of that fun together before the end of the year, so that the children have those wonderful experiences and relationships and memories of their class and their teacher and everything this year.
Right. I mean, and I definitely, had months or weeks or anything like that where I felt like I didn't do enough of this, and I really noticed it. And it actually took a lot of energy on my part to make it happen. Yeah. But I was so glad that I did, and so definitely like take the time to think through it. Even though I know it's a lot. It's like teaching a game. It takes a lot of effort because you have to explain a lot. I mean, if it's a simple game, it's not that bad. But I remember being kind of intimidated by that because I really wanted everybody to have a lot of fun. But then, you have to, coordinate it all. So it definitely takes a lot of work, but it's so worth it. It's so fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And it has it gives your community a whole different flavor when you know that you all can play and be silly and have fun together, as well as like work hard and have fun together. That all of that exists. And I think this summer, more than any summer, those of us at home with children are going to have to work hard to have some fun on a regular basis. Yeah.
Right.
That isn't the normal things that we do in the summer usually. So,
man, yeah, but there are lots of options, and just focus on maybe doing some of these fun things before the school year's over, so everybody can just have that special memory. And then, you can give some ideas to the parents in your community to help them, because, no summer camps this summer. So that's going to be tough on a lot of parents and a lot of communities, I know. So anything that you can do to help them, I know they'd appreciate it.
So yes, focus on the academic learning and pay attention to that, but also focus on your community. Make sure that you're building those relationships and showing children how to have fun away from the academic work as well. And you can do that with your classroom communities, and you can help the parents with ideas for doing that throughout the summer.
That's right. And maybe you can play sausages with your classroom online and let us know how it goes.
Yeah, let us know, because I really, really want to witness that, because I bet it's hilarious.
I bet it's so cute. I love it. All right, well, have fun, everybody.